Pep and Carlo Ancelotti, after the game tomorrow night, will do their analysis on Liverpool, and they'll watch a million games, but they'll watch that first half that they played against Villarreal, and they'll realise, if they already didn't know it before, that Liverpool's fullbacks are brilliant going forward, but they are a little bit they are susceptible defensively. We saw that with Trent for the second goal for sure. But it's one of them, as Craig said, especially when the elite teams and you're playing in the Champions League at an elite level in a final, if you're off it, you can be punished and you might not come back from 2-0 down. So massive wake-up call.
As for Villarreal, Ale, in this one, what can they take away from it? Pride after this?
I suppose so. If you believe in moral victories, yeah, go ahead and do that. I just think, really, where this game was, it was more of a wasted opportunity for Villarreal to further the suffering, and this is the word that Unai Emery used leading up to this game, suffering of Liverpool in this second leg. And I think there was a chance here to continue to play the way that they were playing in the first half, up until their legs went. And once their legs went, then you hang on for as long as you possibly can. You make some substitutions. You try to keep Liverpool down. So to me, the halftime could not have come at a worse time for Villarreal. Villarreal were in full control, and they were outdoing Liverpool in the things that they usually do well. They were doing to Liverpool what Liverpool usually does to other teams. They were squeezing the life out of Liverpool. Halftime comes, and I have to imagine that gave some time for the worst thing that could happen, and that is for Unai Emery to think a little bit, to think to the point of overthinking and say, you know what's going to be a good idea? Since we cannot keep this up, we're just going to sit back and we're going to look like we looked in the first leg. And then we're going to catch them on the counter. And the more that you invited Liverpool and you gave freedom to Thiago Alcantara to move the ball, and you gave freedom to some of the other players to move the ball, and then Luis Diaz brings a different energy, you allow Liverpool to have a life that they did not have. Halftime came at the worst time possible for Villarreal, and I think the fans will be happy in terms of, look, we really gave a good account of ourselves. We are going to be proud of Villarreal. I look at it from the perspective of an opportunity wasted, because you had Liverpool on the ropes and you let them slip away.
Just going back to half-time and a change for Liverpool then, and going back to Luis Diaz, Frank, comes on for Diogo Jota. Did he just let his coach know that he should be starting in the final?
I'm not sure I understood your question, Kay. I'm sorry.
Should Luis Diaz start in the final after his performance today?
You don't know that if it would have been a very good idea from Luis Diaz to start. I mean, the fact that he came on and speed up the game, pace up the game, and change the rhythm of everybody, and created dangers because of the Villarreal players were a little bit tired as well at the same time. You don't know what would have happened, if he would have started. That's a question it's impossible to answer. Maybe Diogo Jota tired the players. Maybe Luis Diaz came on and changed the pace because of the fake rhythm of the Liverpool team. I think it's also a lesson for Liverpool who can get out of that game, is that, in fact, if Liverpool doesn't play 100% with a high pressure, with a high rhythm, they're not the best team. They're not the best team in the world. And Luis Diaz showed the way to start again and to be better, as Liverpool is normally, because it's the pace that they need to be different than other teams and to be successful. I don't know if Luis Diaz playing at the beginning would have changed something at the fake rhythm that they had for 45 minutes.
I don't think today's game has changed anything. I think Jurgen Klopp already knows that his best front three at the moment is Diaz, Mane and Salah. I think it was an opportunity to give Diaz a rest, being 2-0 up. I think it was an opportunity to play Diogo Jota with Villarreal playing a higher line and a pressing game, to run in behind, which he likes to do, and come from late and score goals. But it just wasn't happening for Liverpool. So, I think Klopp already, I think if it was a Champions League final, I think if that had been a Champions League final today, the front three would have been Diaz, Mane and Salah. I think he's just able to rotate, and he felt with the circumstances, and by the way, Jota's a damn good player and gets his quota of goals, that was the best way to go. Of course, he had to make the changes. to try and get Diaz to take the ball in, to put Foyt under a bit of pressure, and to start running at that back four. The one worrying thing out of a couple of big games they've played recently was the press from Villarreal they didn't handle very well. The high pressing game at the Etihad against Man City in the first half, they didn't handle it very well at all, Liverpool. They got a result, but didn't handle it very well. And I'm kind of thinking from their perspective that Real Madrid, for sure, would be a better suitor for them in the final. A different dynamic. They're not going to press you the same. They're not going to harass you the same, but they are going to come at you in a different way. But recently, when two teams in big games have pressed Liverpool early, they've really struggled in the first 45 minutes, or certainly in the City game, in the first half an hour.
And they might feel like they've got a score to settle if it is Real Madrid in the final.
Well, Mo Salah said that after the game. He was interviewed by our colleagues at BT Sport, and nobody had said, all the players had said, oh, I'm not bothered, oh, we'll take anybody. But then Mo Salah came out and he says, actually, I want to play Madrid. And I don't know if it's because City thinks City are a better team, and also redemption for the final a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the quadruple odds are all still on. That is Jurgen Klopp making it to the League Cup final, the FA Cup final, and now the Champions League final. Will a comeback like that today, Don, help them in that plate?
I don't think so, Kay. I just think what it showed to the world and it showed to everyone is that Liverpool have got quality, but also they've got a big heart and they've got loads of bottle. This is the furthest anyone's ever been in terms of the quadruple. So they are breaking records all over the place. I think they'll beat Chelsea in the final. I think they'll add the FA Cup. The league's the hard one, obviously being a point behind City, because both teams are that good. They could win every single game. As Craig said, I think if you asked Jurgen Klopp, not on the microphone because he wouldn't give you an honest answer, and I think if you asked Liverpool fans, Liverpool players who they want in the final, it would be Real Madrid, because there's nothing between City and Liverpool. The margins are so narrow, where I'd fancy Liverpool playing against Madrid. But as I said, they've got bottle and they've got heart, they've got quality, they've got options. That was the real Liverpool in the second half. There was a point, as Ali said there, where Villarreal was strong. But even Unai Emery, I think he would have said after the game, there's one or two players like Jurgen Moreno who were carrying injuries. And there was one or two others that just couldn't last the 90 minutes. So, yes, it'll give them a wake-up call. I don't think it'll affect the Premier League. They go into a game against Tottenham, he'll play his strongest side. And I expect Liverpool to go marching on.
Frank?
Yeah, I wanted to go with the guys, and while Don was speaking, about the fact that maybe it's better to play Real Madrid, in the final instead of Man City. I'm thinking, yes, but that team won 13 times the Champions League, that they know how to win it, and they showed it against Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain before, that they can play badly, and I mentioned it many times. I think Modric made an article saying that, yeah, we don't play well, but we have the spirit of winners, and we're going to keep on working hard with that, which is a big tool. Comparing to Man City, which never won the Champions League, which lost against Chelsea last season. So when they're going to reach the final, if City reaches the final, they're going to think, okay, we never won. We're going to play against a team who won 6 times. There is a psychological spirit that you have to take in count when you play a final. It can be a World Cup final, it can be a Champions League final. And when you play Madrid, you would have a hard time to win because they know how to win the last game. And that's what it is. You don't play a final, you don't play well, you just win it or you lose it.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.